Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan episode. If you haven't listened before, each week I share with you guys what's on my meal plan for my family for the upcoming week. I think meal planning is really important for saving money, wasting less food, reducing stress, and trying to figure out what's for dinner each night. So that's why I share this with you, just to maybe help you find some ideas or just maybe for motivation to get your meal plan together. The meal plan that I share is just for dinners. I don't really plan for breakfast or lunch, and I do rotate my meals on a regular basis, so we eat kind of the same types of things over and over throughout the year. I do try and throw in something new every once in a while, even if it's just like a side dish or, sometimes seasonally there's certain things I make more in the summer versus the winter. But we do kind of generally rotate things to keep things easy. For like example, every other Monday I do hamburgers. Every Thursday I do either breakfast for dinner or soup and grilled cheese, that type of thing. So also, just so you know, the blog version of this meal plan with links to the recipes for any recipes that I have a link to can be found at lolasfrugallife.com. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, May 29th. So the first meal that I have on my plan for the week is going to be, like I just said, for Saturday, creamy herbed pork chops. This recipe can be found at allrecipes.com. And this recipe is, you basically just season the pork chops and you saute them in butter, and then you make like a little gravy to go over it. But honestly, I usually skip the gravy only because I'm usually trying to make a really quick dinner. And I think the pork chops, just with seasoning them with the Montreal steak seasoning and then just sauteing them in butter, they just come out really good, even just like that. So if you don't have time to go ahead and make the gravy part of the recipe, they come out really good like that. And I make this recipe with the bone-in pork chops. They seem to come out a little bit better, I think. Like, they usually don't get as dried out when you cook them in a frying pan. So we're doing that for Saturday. And then on the side, I'm making peas and pasta, which is from weelicious.com, WEELICIOUS. And that's just a really simple pasta dish that is just basically pasta cooked with peas, and then you just toss it with some olive oil and Parmesan cheese when it's done cooking. So that is our side for Saturday. For Sunday, I'm doing penne with broiled chicken, which is just like a little recipe that I made up a while ago, and my kids really like it. So pretty much all I do is just take some chicken breast, cut it up in small pieces, toss it with some olive oil, and I cook it under the broiler until the chicken gets a little bit on the crispy side. And in the meantime, I boil up some penne on the stove, and then I toss it with some olive oil and some shredded mozzarella cheese. But I put the mozzarella cheese like after, like not while it's still on the heat, after it's off the heat, so that it just kind of melts, but not like fully melted. So it's just kind of like nice partially melted cheese tossed through the pasta. And then I used to also mix in the chicken, but one of my kids doesn't eat meat anymore. So I serve the chicken on the side now, and then whoever wants just the pasta with the mozzarella can eat that, and then anybody else can add the chicken to the top. So that's what we're doing for Sunday. And then I'm also just going to do some frozen vegetables on the side, whatever I happen to have, like some of those steamed fresh ones you just put in the microwave. Or a can of vegetables would be good too. But anyway, so that's for Sunday. For Monday, I am doing ribeye steak. And for that, I just take a ribeye steak and I marinate it in a Ziploc bag with Montreal steak seasoning and olive oil and red wine vinegar. I usually just let it marinate for like at least a couple of hours. But then I just throw it on the grill or put it under the broiler. Since it's going to be nice out, I'll probably throw that on the grill. And then I'm also going to be making vegetarian tater tot casserole 2, like Roman numeral 2, and that's from allrecipes.com. This is a quick little side dish with tater tots, obviously. It's basically like tater tots, and then you make a mixture of like sour cream, mushroom soup, and cheese, and you spread it like over the top of the tater tots, and then you bake it in the oven. That could wind up not being a great idea if it winds up being really hot, because this is Memorial Day weekend and the weather is starting to get hotter, but I'm going to try. Hopefully I won't heat up the house too much because that does bake for almost an hour. So that's probably not the greatest choice as we head into summer, but that's what I had on my meal plan. So I'll just have to keep that in mind in the future, that maybe that's something I want to make more in the winter. And then I was also just going to do a bagged salad with that, the type that you just buy at the food store that have, you know, like the toppings and the dressing included. Okay, so then for Tuesday, we always do some type of a Mexican theme. So this Tuesday, I am doing chimichangas with sour cream sauce. That's from allrecipes.com. And I've mentioned every time I make this recipe, I've never actually made the sour cream sauce. I pretty much just use this recipe for the chimichanga part of it, and I cook them in the air fryer. They come out really good. It's really easy. I cook the chicken actually in the Instant Pot, which is not part of the recipe, but I started doing that and it makes it so much easier. If you look up Instant Pot chicken breast, you can find, I forget exactly what the timing is, but if you have an Instant Pot, you literally just put some water in there, put the chicken breast in, cook it, and you can add your seasonings even like when you put it in, and then you could just shred it up and make the chimichangas with it or whatever you want to do with it. It just makes it a lot easier than like trying to boil it the right amount of time, and I always have trouble doing that. So that's for that meal. And then I'm also going to do on the side chickpea salad 2, chickpea salad Roman numeral 2. That's also from allrecipes.com. And that is a salad that is pretty much just chickpeas, cucumbers, and tomatoes with like an oil and vinegar type dressing with some seasonings. So that's what we're going to do on the side with the chimichangas. Let's see, Wednesday we're doing fried flounder. So this one I don't have a recipe for. I just buy a bag of the frozen flounder from like BJ's. I know Costco has it, pretty much anywhere, you know, they have like that big bag of flounder and they're individually frozen. So I just defrost what we're going to need, and then I just basically dip it in egg and then breadcrumb and then fry it on the stove. I always mention that if you make the oil a little bit hotter, it seems to cook the fish better, where it doesn't like break apart when you're trying to flip it over. It kind of crisps up the breadcrumbs quicker and kind of holds it together. And then with that, I'm just going to do I call it like flavored rice, but like a rice side dish, you know, like in Uncle Ben's or Zatarain's or something like that, whatever type I wind up picking up. And then again, just a bag of frozen vegetables, whatever I happen to have on hand. I'll just throw in the microwave at the last minute, and then that'll be done. For Thursday, I am making Crockpot potato soup, which is not the best choice because I actually just realized I just made corn chowder last week. So it's almost a very similar soup, and I sometimes make these mistakes when I'm making my meal plan. But anyway, I'm going to make Crockpot potato soup, which is probably like the easiest soup to make. And unfortunately, I don't have a recipe link for this, but what you do is you just take a 32-ounce bag of potatoes, like with the potatoes and the peppers and onions. And as I'm speaking this, I feel like I made this recently too, and I think I might have put this on my meal plan sooner than I normally would have. But anyway, I really like the soup. I'm still making it. So you just put that bag in of those potatoes with the peppers and onions. You dump it in. You put 32 ounces of broth, either like chicken broth, vegetable broth, whatever you want, can of cream of mushroom soup, and then you just let it cook all day. And then at the end, you're supposed to put in 8 ounces of cream cheese, but I never actually even do that step. I like it just how it comes out on its own. But if you want a little bit creamier, you could add the cream cheese to it, and then you could serve it with shredded cheddar cheese on the top and make grilled cheese sandwiches, and it's really good. And then for Friday, I am doing a barbecue night, so I'm going to be doing brats on the grill. I'm also going to do grilled chicken thighs. Again, really no recipe there. I just buy the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and then I just toss them in some barbecue sauce and cook them up on the grill. They come out so good, just kind of like that. And then I'm also going to do the Mexican bean salad, which is from allrecipes.com. I make that a lot in the summer. I really like that salad, and I think it's really good even just as leftovers. Like sometimes I'll just put it like on top of lettuce for like a lunch. You could dip chips in it. It's just really good. And then on the side with that, I'm also going to do classic macaroni salad, which is from allrecipes.com. So that is the last meal in the meal plan for this week. So hopefully this is helpful to you. in getting your meal plan together. If you'd like to email me with any questions or suggestions, you can reach me at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Lola's Frugal Life. I do have a YouTube channel, and like I mentioned before, the website. The YouTube channel is just the same that you're hearing here. There's not like any additional video part of it. It's just another place to hear the podcast. You can also join our private listeners group on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life, or just search for Lola's Frugal Life private listener group. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe. And I would love if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I can see that you're listening. Also, if you could take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast, that would be really helpful to me. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.